So do you see the new any hope in the national education policy which the government announced last year, which in fact talks about some of these things? It talks about going back to ancient texts and it talks about experiential learning. But do you see any hope in it?
Yeah, these are all, kind of like a khichdi, see, a little bit of this, little bit of this, little bit of. The question is, when you go to a class, what does your teacher? I've been taught by Paul Samuelson, Simon Kuznets, Vasily Leontief, all these great names. Usually, there's matchless. They're like, nine.
Wrote all our
Ratnas.
textbook. Yeah.
Yeah. So they used to make you think. Here, whatever the teacher says, you memorize, reproduce in the exam, you'll get the marks. The room for original thinking, research was not there. Of course, I was a rebel, so I started doing research even at the age of 19, which has earned me my scholarship to Harvard. But the fact is that most people are told to pay attention in class, listen to what the teacher says, and then literally reproduce it. And the teacher will mark you down if you don't repeat what he says, even if it's right or wrong. So that system has not changed, and there is no. Yes.
What needs to change?
What needs to change is,
we have to.
What needs to change is two things. First, it should not be necessary to get a bachelor's degree or a master's degree to get a job, which is reasonably decent. You see the number of, I think 75% of our people go to from school to college to get a bachelor's degree. In the United States, it's only 35%. In China, it's 40%, 45%. Now, that doesn't mean that China is less literate. They train people for technical things so they can get a job, they can become mechanics, so they don't have to go to get a BA. We have, even for mechanics, minimum qualification is BA. You see, so therefore, first is that those who go to higher education must be committed to research, and they may drop out, fail out. But the second is, you need to give a very decent salary to the teachers. Now, maybe in Delhi University you get a decent salary, JNU may be given even more decent salary. But in the schools, the primary schools, if you see China, you see America, and see what the difference is, much of the thinking process is developed in schools, high schools.
Yeah.
And by the time they come to college, if they go to college, they go straight into writing their own papers. In the United States, we hardly had question papers. These are take-home exams. You could look at your books.
Yeah.
And then the teacher used to look whether the answers have any originality. So that kind of thing is not there in this. And who are the ones who did it? The education minister doesn't have much education. I mean, he has in one very limited field, but not in the field of education. And the people they brought in are, people who have no scholarship, no research papers, who have not. So that whole same cycle goes on. It's only they have not been able to. They have not been able to revise it. We need a revised, actual, factual history book. Who we are. When Indians don't know who we are across the length and breadth of the country, how can you have a change? So this is just a lip service. And look at the allocation for education. This time they've reduced it.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
In long years ago, 1966, Kothari Commission was set up to find out what should be done for education. And they said it should be 6%. And we are not even 1.5%.
We're just about 3.5%, sir.
3.5 points, including salary, everything else.
Exactly. Yeah, all that.
In terms of school buildings, books, and libraries, 1.5% of it only. So, therefore, I would say that teachers, you should be able to attract teachers. You should have your folklore, which says, like we had in the ancient days, that Acharya is bigger than the king. You see,